Nigerian Armed Forces rescue 1,993 kidnapped victims as the FCT Police Command and other operators rescue 3 at collapsed building in Abuja. This is the outlook of Panorama today, reaching you live from Abuja. I'm Zenred Dingmun. Thanks for joining us. Troops of the Nigerian Armed Forces have rescued 1,993 kidnapped victims and arrested 3,682 terrorists in ongoing operations in the second quarter of 2024. In a statement, the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, says troops also eliminated 2,245 terrorists across the country, while several arms and ammunition were recovered within the period. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has condemned the recent suicide bombing in Goza, Borno State, which claimed innocent lives with many sustaining various degrees of injuries. In a statement, IGP also extends his condolences to the government and people of Borno State, particularly the families and loved ones of those affected. Similarly, the IGP has deployed additional personnel and resources to Borno State to bolster security, prevent further attacks, reassuring residents of obligation to total safety and security in the state. Meanwhile, the Explosive Ordnance Disposal EOD unit, in collaboration with the Nigerian Army EOD unit, is engaging in clearance operations to ensure that no further threats infiltrate any part of Borno State or its neighboring states. In addition, the Inspector General of Police has ordered the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the Force Intelligence Department to scale up intelligence gathering across the country for more effective anti-crime operations. Now, the FCT Police Command has confirmed that a building collapsed at Unity House, Area 11 by Inquiry Street at about 8:40 p.m. Monday, July 1st, 2024. In response to the distress call, the Commissioner of Police, FCT CP Benneth Igwe, moved to the scene with his patrol teams as first responders to cordon off the area for possible rescue. 3 victims were successfully evacuated from the rubble and rushed to the hospital for medical care. Personnel of the National Emergency Management Agency of Nigeria and FCT Development Control have taken charge of the area and are managing events at the scene. Now, some key players of security apparatus in Nigeria are calling on the National Assembly to prioritize establishment of state police in the ongoing 1999 constitution alteration process. This was the consensus at a discourse organized by National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies on decentralizing Nigeria's security system. Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports.
Over the years, Nigeria has been operating a centralized police structure despite the dynamics of each state with unique socio-cultural and security challenges. Experts say the country in need of a more tailored and responsive approach to law enforcement matters. This dialogue, they believe, is not only timely but crucial for the future of the nation's police system.
It has been argued that the establishment of state police may empower local authorities to address these challenges more effectively, ensuring quicker response and better understanding of local security dynamics.
Ceding power to federal authorities only could cause a wrong assumption that the federating units do not have the power to maintain their own issues of discipline within their respective domain.
When we're talking of policing, where you are depending on police to police your society, it means your society has failed. And I'm very serious about this. I'm very, as a first trainer as a sociologist, I think Nigeria has failed in using the social institutional socialization and policing system.
At the end of the dialogue, recommendations will be brought forward to address myriad of security and economic challenges facing the nation. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Now, the judiciary, as the third arm of government and an arbiter between the other arms, is expected to exhibit financial transparency. To achieve this, the 2024 Hybrid National Workshop on Management of Judicial Financial Resources is underway in Abuja. The convergence of the judicial financial managers from all judiciaries across the country on Abuja is to evolve promotion of efficiency, uniformity and improvement in quality of judicial services in the superior and lower courts. The 3-day training with the theme Strengthening Financial Transparency and Accountability in the Judiciary is meant to keep participants abreast of global best practices. Participants in the next 3 days will cross-fertilize ideas on budgeting, fraud prevention and deployment of technology in financial management. The Administrator, National Judicial Institute, Justice Salisu Garba Abdullahi, urges participants to be committed towards the attainment of efficient delivery of services to litigants. Now, Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, wants staff of the Commission to always remember that their loyalty and allegiance are to the country as they discharge their responsibilities. Professor Yakubu made the call at an induction retreat for 10 new resident electoral commissioners organized by INEC and other partners held in Lagos. Hinginu John Adams tells us more.
This retreat is to induct 10 new resident electoral commissioners, RECs, to spearhead the affairs of the nation's electoral umpire at the state level. It is an opportunity for them to be introduced to reforms and innovations in the Commission, as well as broaden their perspectives on their roles and responsibilities. While declaring the event open, Chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, urged the resident electoral commissioners to focus on acquainting themselves more with the processes and procedures of the Commission.
It is an opportunity to review performance, reappraise processes, discuss innovations, engage service providers, interface with lawmakers on critical areas of reform, and explore new frontiers in our continuous effort to improve organizational capacity of the Commission for better service delivery.
With 4 major elections, among others, coming up before the 2027 general polls, the RECs were urged to promote transparency and credibility while delivering acceptable elections.
This platform affords everyone an opportunity for continuous learning, growth, and collaboration.
You have to be very detail-oriented, and you will have to do everything under an enormous pressure which comes from left, right, and centre.
I want to reassert our continued support in advancing the aspiration of this Commission.
As the new RECs get equipped with necessary knowledge to run the affairs of the Commission in their various states, it is expected that they will deliver free, fair and credible elections. In Lagos, Hinginu John Adams, NTA News.
It's time for a break now. Panorama continues thereafter. Stay with us. Thanks for staying tuned. Now, the National Directorate of Employment has constructed and donated a classroom to LEA Junior Secondary School, Baragoni, in Buari, Abuja. The project, executed under the Directorate's Labor-Based Infrastructural Development Scheme, is one among many programs to facilitate skills training at the grassroots. Joseph Otsen reports.
Baragoni, at the suburb of Abuja, is one among communities in the Federal Capital Territory lacking not just basic amenities, but also standard education facilities.
I say we need a lot. Most of our people are relying on farming, and there are other forms of training where these people could be self-sustaining.
Fortunately, the National Directorate of Employment's Labor-Based Infrastructure Development Scheme finds the major school in the area to support.
In our class, we have 160 students sitting there, which teaching and learning is very difficult to the student and the teachers. The teachers cannot go around, cannot check the student very well, and they cannot sit well. Then the NTA reasoned with us and decided instead of the classroom renovation, they now took a structure of a classroom.
The blocks layers, the carpenters that work, the painters, everybody we get from this community, whether they have learned the skill enough or not, we use them so that in the process of the project, they perfect their skills. We also have an infrastructure that we leave behind for the community.
NDE says it is re-strategizing some of its activities to create more jobs and employment opportunities for unemployed Nigerians, which is one of the 8-point agendas of the current administration. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
And recently, the Effective School Program was introduced by the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, aimed at enhancing efficiency of UBE delivery at national and state levels with prescribed minimum standards attainable in all educational programs. Now, the Commission has announced official takeoff of the implementation with the engagement of 111 schools designated as UBEC e-learning centers across 36 states and the FCT.
To give emphasis on all those aspects that an effective school is expected to have. And among others, teachers are key. The effective school should have the required teachers in the subjects that are taught in the schools. So on that note, the teachers are invited, the head teachers in particular are invited to come and interact with the commission, with their own directors in the suburbs, to take home what really do we want them to do at the school level in order to promote effective teaching and learning in those selected schools.
Procurement and distribution of instructional materials with installation of satellite-based learning equipment have been put in place to aid commencement of the ESP initiative. And still on education, 2 newly built tertiary education trust fund projects have been handed over to faculties of agriculture and veterinary medicine in University of Jos. Caleb Gochin reports that the institution's Vice-Chancellor, Professor Tanko Ishaya, says management of the institution will sustain hard work geared towards excellence.
The projects are Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Medicine, completed by TED Fund to enhance teaching and learning in the institution. This is in line with the mandate to disburse, manage and monitor education tax in government-owned tertiary institutions. Professor Ishaya Tanko, on a tour of the facilities, says the completion marks a significant milestone in the university's history, as the buildings are testament to their commitment to excellence in education and research.
Also handed over to you, and we continue to pray for you and your men to continue to be more committed and dedicated to the role that they have decided to take over.
For management of the 2 faculties, the intervention will spur staff and students to explore new ideas. In Jos, Caleb Gochin, NTA News.
Food security, emergence of agricultural entrepreneurs, and development of socio-economic activities in rural communities were highlighted during the 4th Joint Supervision of Agricultural Projects in Ondo State. The 3-day visit conducted by Federal Government, International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, and Niger Delta Development Commission. Abiola Ario reports.
Here is 40-year-old Flora Oluwaniyi, a peasant farmer who leveraged the initiative of the federal government in 2021 and has successfully expanded her fishery, poultry and other ventures in Ondo East local government area of Ondo State. Flora is among the 30,000 youths and women who have been trained and empowered in fish farming, poultry, cassava and vegetable farming out of the 4,250 earmarked for the joint projects of the federal government, International Fund for Agricultural Development (IFAD) and the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) in Ondo State.
Improve my life, boost my business, and through that, I still be a benefit to my neighborhood.
Mountain farming have really changed us a lot. They are giving me the knowledge. They are giving the perspective that no matter your situation, you can move forward.
The visit of the drivers of the initiative to about 4 local government areas in the state provided opportunities to interface with the trainees.
We are quite hopeful that these are potential super agro-entrepreneurs.
The implementation process is okay. Of course, no matter how fantastic it is, there are rooms for improvement.
They have been fortified and they are very strong. Not even that, a cooperative society that we have even linked to financial, so they can access loan.
The 12-year agricultural project is structured in 2 phases of 6 years each, with the first phase currently in its 5th year. In Akure, Abiola Rio, NTA News.
Jigawa State Government clarifies recent farmer and herdsmen clash in Baranda and Bagadaza forests of Dutse and Gwaram local government areas of the state. Mohammed Musa Askira reports that the state government, through the Farmers and Herdsmen Board, says the situation has been brought under control and there is no loss of life.
Unverifiable social media reports making the round over the weekend indicate that the recent clash between farmers and herdsmen in Jigawa State has resulted to loss of lives and left many others injured. To set the record straight, the Jigawa State government, through the Farmers Herdsmen Board in a press briefing, says although there was a clash and a few casualties were recorded as a result of a Fulani boy trespassing farmlands, there was no loss of life. The incidents happened at Baranda and Bagadaza villages in Dutse and Gwaram local government areas, and authorities have taken the necessary measures to tame the situation from escalating.
A committee was formed between the farmers, the local farmers within the area, and the herders that are living in the same area, so that a committee to sensitize the farmers to live together.
Recently, Governor Umar Namadi has issued a warning against farmers and herdsmen not to trespass into cattle roads and farmlands respectively, as well as illegal allocation of land to avoid these preventable clashes that may lead to loss of lives and property.
All lands allocated illegally stand revoked. So we are on that. And but when we set up a committee to go and ensure that all those lands are revoked and are demarcated for grazing reserved and cattle routes, that revoking is still standing.
As it stands now, normalcy has returned to the 2 areas, with both farmers and herdsmen going about their daily activities. In Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Now, Nigeria Customs Service on airport has handed over 9 containers of illegal imported arms and ammunition, illicit drugs, and 3 suspects to National Center for Control of Light Arms and Weapons and National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. Comptroller General of Nigeria Customs Service, Wale Adeniyi, briefed newsman Kingsley Amajiri reports.
This feat by operatives of Nigeria Customs Service is a product of effective synergy between the Nigeria Customs Service, local partners, and international collaborators. The arms-laden container, which originated from Turkey, became a subject of interest to Nigeria Customs Service after credible intelligence indicated unlawful content with false declaration as furniture.
We had followed its sale across continents. The suspicious container was subjected to thorough physical examination. We had inside the container 844 units of assorted rifles. Number 2, 112,500 pieces of live ammunition.
I also want to assure members of the public that a thorough investigation will be carried out to unravel the country of origin, the motive of the people who illegally acquired these weapons, their possible sponsors, and their end users.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu directed the National Security Advisor to commend the Nigerian Customs Service for effectively discharging its mandate in the overall interest of our country's national security.
And hope that the synergy between the two agencies will continue to grow stronger and stronger.
In another operation, the command also intercepted 8 by 40-foot containers on transit to a warehouse from One Port, laden with illicit drugs.
And key concern to critical stakeholders is what would have been the implication if these arms and ammunition were let loose into the Nigerian society. I'm Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
We're now being joined by our correspondent Onotu Yakubu at the scene of the building collapse via telephone. Onotu, can you tell us the situation there?
Well, thank you, Zared. Presently, evacuation operation is ongoing at the venue of the unfortunate incident. It happened last night at about 8:30 to 8:40 p.m. The building is under renovation, and then in the process of it, I think they gave up integrity test. It failed integrity test rather, and that resulted to the collapse of the building. And good 18, the emergency calls were placed to the FCT Command and Control Center, and the Commissioner of Police, who readily was available, led the first responders team to the location where the couple of victims trapped under the rubble were evacuated immediately. I'm standing here right with the Commissioner of Police FCT, CP Bennett Igwe, to also tell us what the situation were yesterday, especially as regards security of the environment while it was happening. CP sir, what was the situation yesterday as at when this happened? What really happened and what was the situation like?
The situation, what happened was around the time you spoken, between 8:30 and thereabout, I received a call from a passersby that it seems one building that they are being renovated has caved in. I was the first person to arrive here because you can see it's not far from my office. So with my men, we came. We did the first rescue. We rescued 3 people, and we later rescued 2. Everybody came. I called for assistance. I called Julius Berger. I called Zebaseed. I called every organization, every construction company. Security is very key to environments like this. What was security like while all this was happening that yesterday night? There was no cause for alarm when we were here. I was here. Everybody was here. There was no cause for alarm. We will have a full collaboration of everybody. So there's nothing to fear about. No, at all. Area is calm.
Well, you heard it from him. It was actually a very calm situation. They were able to manage, and disaster and emergency responders are presently here putting final touches to ensure that all is well at the location. That is the situation as it's unfolding right now, Zaret.
Okay, thank you so much, Onotu. We hope to get more updates. That was the Commissioner of Police, FCT Command. Thank you so much, Onotu.
That's our interview.
Now that's it on Panorama today. I am Zenred Dingwon. Thanks for sharing your time with us.